You may now be seated. Now moving on to point D, roll call / verification of quorum. Senate Secretary, you now have the floor.
Senator Green. Senator Bargamento. Senator B. Carter. Senator J. Carter. Senator Climbs. Senator Snipes. Senator Antinor.
Present.
Senator Dumas.
Present.
Senator Finley. Senator Hansberry. Senator Hemphill.
Present.
Senator Holder. Senator Lamar.
Present.
Senator LaVille.
Present.
Senator Monk. Senator McClinton. Senator Seniors. Senator Myers. Senator Strong. Senator D. Ford. Senator Butterfield. Senator D. Jackson.
Present.
Senator Plaisir. Senator Young. Senator Knox. Senator Miller. Senator Jean-Baptiste. Senator Williams. Senator Hall.
Present.
Senator J. Jackson. Senator Rios. Senator Eden.
Present.
Senator Osborne.
Present.
Senate Pro Temp Morissette.
Present.
Senate President Ford.
Present. Now moving on to point E, approval of agenda and minutes. The minutes from the last Senate meeting were sent out, so now I entertain a motion to accept them at this time.
Second.
Is it probably a second to accept the last session's minutes? Is there any readiness to the main motion at this time? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by the sign of aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. You all have been sent out the agenda 24 hours in advance. You have all had ample time to review it. If you'd like to add anything, please do so at this time. Seeing none, if you would like to accept tonight's agenda, please make this motion now. Then probably move to a second to accept tonight's agenda. Is there any readiness to the main motion at this time? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by the sign of aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. Citizen Beckman now enter. Moving on to point F, introduction of guests and speakers. Is anyone to my left, your right, in the gallery that would like to introduce themselves tonight for the last Senate meeting of the fall semester? Seeing none, thank you all for coming, and I hope you enjoyed tonight's Senate meeting. Now moving on to point G, announcements and committee reports. Starting with acting ANS liaison, Mr. Senator Hansberry. You now have the floor.
There are no reports tonight.
Thank you. Any questions for acting ANS liaison at this time? Seeing none, now move on to acting OFC chairwoman, Senator Antinor. You have the floor.
Okay, so we did not meet this past Friday due to the fact that there wasn't anything on our agenda. This Thursday is the activities and service. This Thursday is Activities and Service Workshop. It will be December 7th, Thursday, in the Senate chambers at 6 p.m. So all organizations who are looking for allocation are required to come. So please let it be known that every organization that is registered with OSA for at least a year. So thank you.
Any questions for acting OFC chairwoman at this time? Seeing none, thank you. Now I'm on to Elections and Appointments Committee. Senator Eden, you now have the floor.
Greetings, everybody. How's everybody doing? That's wonderful. So, starting off, the traffic court nominees, those names were submitted to me. However, it was 5 names. We have 1 person on the court, and the maximum amount the court can have is 5 people. So I'm waiting for those names to be resubmitted to me. The SGA vice president nominee has been submitted to me. So the committee will be meeting next week. Not next week, I lied. Next semester, first week, hopefully, to confirm the individual. The 5,000 voter strike, we're in the process of planning that. Christopher Miller is the chair of the 5,000 Voter Strike Initiative, and Mr. Hassani Myers will be the co-chair of the initiative. The online voting bill, hopefully it should be up in January. And that's pretty much about it.
Are there questions for the ENA chairman at this time? Seeing none, thank you. Senator Zebak will now enter. Now move on to Senate Relations Committee. Acting Chair Senator Dumas, which is you now have the floor.
SRC meets every Wednesday at 4 o'clock. From last week, we planned out strike team. The interest meeting for that will be this Wednesday at 6:30 in BL Perry. Also, we have Senate on the Run this Wednesday at 12 o'clock, and we will be scattered around the school.
I guess for people that don't know, what is Senate on the Run, so you can give a little bit of information for them.
Senate on the Run is basically where we have senators going out asking people questions, asking them what they feel like needs to be done in the school for the betterment of the campus and the student body.
Any further questions for Senator Hall?
Is there an update on Cram Jam? I think I asked that in 3.
Yes, Cram Jam will be this upcoming Sunday in the gym, starting at 8 p.m.
Any further questions for acting SRC Chairman Senator Dumas? Yes, Senator McClinton.
Gaither.
Any further questions for SRC Chairman Senator Dumas? Seeing none, thank you. Senator back. Well, you come in. Now move on to IDSC Chairwoman. You now have the floor.
So good evening, everybody. IDSC meets on Monday mornings at 11:15 a.m. in the SGA conference room normally. If that's booked or busy or something like that, then we meet downstairs in the SGA workroom. IDSC did not meet. However, just to recap for this semester, we did end up having 4 trainings, and the goal was to have 3. So I'm really excited about that. I hope that you all enjoy the trainings, that you guys have the tools that you need to write these allocation bills that are coming up, since Carry Forward did make it through committee with the BOT. I would appreciate it if you guys sent me some suggestions or emails or anything like that for training, as far as things that you guys need help on, so that we can get started on that for the spring semester. So the goal is to have the first training probably the 3rd week of January. So just hit me offline for your suggestions for that. And that is all for IDSC.
Are there any questions for IDSC Chairwoman Senator Hall at this time? Seeing none, thank you. Now moving on to JNR Chairwoman Senator Osborne. You now have the floor.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brianna Osborne. I serve as the chairwoman for the Judicial and Rules Committee for the 47 Student Senate. We typically meet on Wednesdays at 5:15. We have not met recently because we are done with our big project for this semester, which was document ratifications of the 14 titles. However, they will go up before the Board of Trustees at the March meeting due to things not getting signed in time and being sent to General Counsel. And that is all.
Any further questions for JNR Chairwoman at this time, Senator Osborne? Oh, yeah, I have a question. Do we have a date for a document review day? I know it's coming up in the spring, correct?
My lovely Vice Chair, Senator Baptiste, is over document review day. I yield the floor to him.
The projected date that I have for the document review day is January 27th, but further reviewing that day, I myself have some things going on, so I'm looking to see if it's possible to change that date, but I will update you guys to know.
Thank you. Any further questions for JNR Chairwoman Senator Osborne at this time? Seeing none, Senate Pro Temp, you now have the floor. Senate Executive Committee report.
Greetings all. My name is Rashard Morissette. I serve as your 47th Student Senate President Pro Temp. SEC did not meet this past week. However, nor will we meet this week. I'm giving my chairs a break for, getting ready for finals week, and I myself have 4 exams this week, so it's a little too much right now. So all committee binders will be due next week, Monday, and that is all for SEC.
Any questions for Senate Pro Temp at this time? Yes, Senator Hall.
Pro Temp, can you email us like an outline for the binders or something like that so that we know what all you would like in them? Or is that in our something?
No, I'll take care of that.
Okay.
Any further questions for Senate Pro Temp Morissette at this time? Seeing none, now move on to point H, Executive Branch reports. Dr. Hudson. No problem. 7. Y'all can come to the podium.
But I got it. I'm always prepared.
Okay. My bad.
We'll talk about that later. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
At this time, your student body statute states that prior to assuming the office, the SGA president, vice president, and cabinet officers shall be administered the following oath by the vice president of student affairs or his designee. If you would, raise your right hand, please, sir, and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Devin Harrison,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
to defend,
to defend,
uphold,
uphold,
and abide
and abide
by the Constitution
by the Constitution
and statutes of the Student Government Association
and statutes of the Student Government Association,
and the policies
and policies
of Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University,
of Florida Agricultural University,
and faithfully
faithfully
execute
execute
the responsibilities
the responsibilities
of my office to the best of my ability.
of my
Congratulations, Mr. President. Oh, we need to take a picture.
Oh.
They set me up. But first, I want to say good luck on your final exam. This is crunch time.
Yes.
The expectation is that you guys are going to put forth the effort. I just heard talk of what you guys are going to do with the library. That is great. We were one of the first institutions where the student government invested in making sure that there are study spaces for students to have on campus. Very important that as you matriculate for your 4 years of graduation, that we make sure we stay on top of that. We've had a lot to happen this semester. I definitely want to thank those of you that came to the recruitment event in Orlando. You did an excellent job. I still have students calling and saying that the students that we interacted with made a significant impact. So we go and work together. There's nothing we can't accomplish. Those that were there saw the energy, saw the excitement that students have about our university. I just got back from Dallas, Texas, and that excitement is even larger. We sometimes don't understand what we have when it's here, but people from the outside really see what Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University means to the community nationwide. So you guys are testaments to that. You're mentors, whether you want to be or not. People are watching. And so we want to move forward, never move backward. We want to be positive. We want to support each other. That does not mean that we're going to agree on everything. I don't agree with everything that happens in the cabinet for the president. But I know how to approach it. I know how to be cordial, and I can agree to disagree. And that's my expectation of our students as well. We do have policies in place. We have to follow our policies and procedures. When we deviate, that's when we get in trouble. Not just you, but the university as a whole. And so we have to remember that. In the spring, there will be a lot of visitors on campus. Some you may recognize, some you will not. Some will be from state agencies, some will be from federal agencies, some will be from SACs. So we have to be prepared and represent our institution the best way possible, because if we don't, our institution can disappear. And I think that it can. Okay? That's Morris Brown. All right? So we represent this institution. We represent our families. We represent our community. We are standing on shoulders of giants. We cannot forget that. And we have to work together to make everything at this institution operate in a meaningful manner. Okay? I really appreciate all of you, all of the efforts that you do. And I know that Ms. Cohen Pittman is going to talk with you. There are some earlier dates this year with the Florida legislature. Believe it or not, you guys have a lot of power when it comes to talking with our legislation. Okay? They listen to students. All right? Just like other students listen to you. They don't want to listen to old fogies like myself. They want to hear from you. And so we have several items to help our students. The number one item is the CAS building. That is the Student Affairs building. That building is to consolidate all of the student services into one area, so you don't have to walk all over campus to get things done. All right? If you've been to other institutions, you've seen them at University of Florida, you've seen them at University of Central Florida, University of South Florida, what's called the one-stop shop. That's what we want to provide for you. We've received $15 million of the $40 million needed for that to happen. But when you go and talk to these legislatures, we need you to understand that what the priorities are. The other priority is to get more funding for academic advisors, counselors, and mental health counselors on campus. Okay? Our numbers supersede what it should be for there to be adequate support services for students on campus. Everything we do is for our students, all right? I do not want you to forget that. So when we go out and we talk, that's the premise we come from. So I don't want to prolong it because I know you guys get antsy after time. I see you guys have been, I hear war stories about this room, but you guys are being very good today. So I'm going to leave it. I don't know if you guys want me to accept any questions or not, but if any of you have anything you want to talk to me about that you don't want to do in a public forum, I have an open office. My office is 308 Foothill. It's okay for you to come anytime. Call in advance to schedule an appointment to make sure I'm there. But I have an open office policy, so an open door policy for everyone. All right? Any questions? Concerns? Criticism?
All righty.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Would SGA President and University Board Trustee Devin Harris please come up and give the executive branch report at this time?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon.
Can you hear me? Well, let me give a quick board trustee update report. Dr. Hudson hit on a lot of what they were talking about at the board trustee meeting. They want to donate and put more money into our mental health awareness fund, and so we realized that a lot of students around here are suffering from mental illnesses coming from high school to college, and so we want to kind of catch those students so we can kind of shape and cultivate their mindset so they don't struggle in the classroom as much and moving forward. Another thing that we talked about was just enhancing different schools. I know we had a town hall meeting a couple of weeks ago, or maybe almost a month ago, and we were talking about just what can we do to actually enhance our studies here on campus. And so we had a representative from the School of Engineering. He came up and he spoke on different matrix of what we need to do in order to get our school back to where it needs to be. And the main focus is really funding. And so trying to actually better delegate our money. Yeah, we want to make our campus look beautiful. However, we do want to pour in significant dollars into our education, right? And so pouring money into buildings and programs like Benjamin Banneker and IT, pouring money into the School of Engineering, like I mentioned also. And also pharmacy did a really good job in enhancing the increasement funds that they were actually placed in last year compared to what they are now. So pharmacy is doing a really good and a really amazing job in terms of like just producing more and more pharmacists each and every day. E-branch wise, we have our events coming up in the spring. I'm pretty sure that everyone is sort of kind of aware of what's going on. We're actually closing in on the semester, so just like me and everybody else, we're just getting prepared for finals, right? And making sure we keep academics first and keep it in the head for it. As I don't know if this is appropriate to mention, but Jennifer Smith, our chief of staff, she will be our SGA vice president, and she'll be able to get confirmed next semester in the spring. So we're definitely excited about that. But more so than anything else, we're just really moving forward. And I would be totally remiss if I didn't talk about Justin at this point in this moment. So like in terms of his service and his time that he gave to the university, he dedicated a lot of time to SGA, to FAMU in total, more than probably everybody in this room. So my hat goes off to people like him who actually put forth his effort to try to change Florida A&M University. Unfortunately, he didn't have the opportunity to do everything that he wanted to do, but the work that he did do, it does not go unnoticed. The small things that he did, the intricate things, the attention to detail type things that he did do, they do not go unnoticed to the Bruno Harrison administration. So I definitely commend him for putting his foot forward. And to be God honest, this isn't a position that everyone wants. And so I definitely commend him for doing what he did. And it's our job, me and Denver, and our whole entire E-branch who have worked so hard this semester to just move forward and move forward with a positive attitude. I think at the Board of Trustees meeting, I mentioned that we kind of have to move forward with love and unity and kind of just working together to really provide that stability for our university. So again, like I said earlier in one meeting, I said we can either move one way, which is move together as a unit and move forward and kind of just break down barriers and break down walls and actually implement change, not only at FAMU, but in the Tallahassee community and maybe the world at that. Or we can go the other way where we're fighting against one another and we're not really getting anything done. I choose plan A so we can actually move forward. So that's just our E-branch report. I'll take any questions.
Any questions at this time for SGA President Devin Harris? Yes, ENA Chairman.
Hey, so Mr. Harrison, congratulations. So, I guess like with moving forward, like you said, with us work together as a unit, what is your insight on actually, what's your insight on that as far as how can that actually happen from like moving from the semester?
First off, I'll start by giving you those 4 names that you talked about. So I'll email you those names. Also, it's really about communication. I think this year, more so than anything else, Denver, myself, Shaw, and Rakeem, we've done a really good job at just trying to communicate. You know, back in the past, I don't really know the matrix of what the communication was, but it was always a E-branch versus L-branch type thing. Hopefully this year and for the rest of the semester, we can actually knock that wall down and we can create something new. I may not be able to see everything that's created. However, I will support and I will stand by being the building blocks of actually creating that. And so, like I always said, we may not be the administration to be so flashy and outgoing and be able to do X, Y, and Z and all these different things. However, I'm content with being the foundation that we build that rock on, and so we can kind of just move forward and build up.
Another quote.
Bob, granted.
Okay. Just the fact that I'm the interviewer for the potential vice president candidate. Can I have your insight on why you chose Ms. Harrison?
Well, based on her job audit earlier this year, I think she did a really good job in her position. And just showing, you know, her level of being transparent with everyone else and actually showing the work that she put behind actually working in our E branch, it goes unnoticed. And I know everyone in here noticed the amount of hard work that she's done for student government. It's students like her who definitely need to be recognized. She put blood, sweat, and tears in what she does, and she made sure that she does it to the T. So it's no way I would move up without bringing her along with me.
And the next chief of staff.
Well, granted.
The next chief of staff.
We'll be working on that, and we'll get you that information.
And
Follow granted.
Yes, and the rest of the vacancies within the executive branch. How's the I see that the advertisement was going on. It was the advertisement actually said that names. I don't know. Applications had to be submitted to. I don't know if it was y'all actual website or something, but how's that going along? How's this coming along?
Well, we'll kind of check back in and see how many applications we've received so far. To my knowledge, I don't know how many we've received so far, but in terms of like business of that nature, we're still delegating. And once we actually get everything under control, we'll sort of kind of like delegate it out to everyone.
Pro Temp, you know the floor.
Senator Eden, correct me if I'm wrong. Those vacancies in the executive branch, are they not ran by you anymore?
Technically they are, but I mean, you're already advertising, so I'll just allow them to.
And what we can do if there's any miscommunication, what we can do is sort of kind of like sit each other to the side and actually work together to see what's going on to actually figure out the problem. So it just sounds like it's a miscommunication problem. And so what we can do is we can just make sure we communicate well, and instead of you just doing everything, we can work together to make sure the job is done.
Sounds great.
Granted.
Congratulations. Really cannot wait to work with you this spring semester. One thing I think that SGA really needs to solve or kind of resolve all the dysfunction that was mentioned in the resignation letter would be a tri-branch meeting possibly, because while we work with one another, we really don't work with one another, if that makes sense. So, definitely I would put that in, if time permits, possibly look into doing something like that. But that's about it.
Cool. Well, I think actually I can speak on that. We were supposed to have a tri-branch meeting today at 5, but I think something happened, but yeah, but we were supposed to have one, but definitely, I'll jump on my little soapbox real quick. Basically, yeah, we have been working better. We've been working together. I actually contacted him earlier, when he got position. So yeah, we're just trying to move forward and move FAMU forward, because I know SJ has been going through the ringer. So I think this is the light at the end of the tunnel. So we're going to prosperity. Yes, Senator Hall.
I don't know if Pro Temp Moore said. I don't know if this is what he meant, but I know I'm in agreement with tri-branch meetings, but more so tri-branch as in not just branch head. Because I know y'all meet every once in a while, but L branch, J branch, and E branch members don't necessarily meet. I mean, we talk in passing or in the group meet, but I think it would be beneficial for us to have a big general body meeting.
Well,
so
I'm going to cut you off, but actually, this guy right here can call for an SJ meeting as a whole of all 3 branches. So
we can work together.
Yes, Project Morset.
That's what I meant, SGA as a whole meeting. But you did mention branch head meetings. We should definitely get some of those going. Definitely.
Any further questions for SJ President Devin Harrison at this time? All right, seeing none, thank you so much. Is there anyone here from the J branch that would like to give a report at this time? J branch report, yes. Yeah, you can come up. There's no report?
Yes, no, there's nothing to report.
Okay, no problem. I'm sorry that you... Now moving on to point I, Campus Activities Board report. There really is none, unless you know anything for sure you want to say. Kat?
Don't even have.
Now we want to appoint Jerry, Lives and Speakers, as our teacher. You have the floor.
Mr. Smith.
Oh, it's first and final morning tonight. Play with it if you want to.
Come to the Senate chambers, please. Thank you.
Good evening. How are you all doing today?
Great.
I thank you all for allowing me to briefly speak with you today about a couple of things. I wanted to get on the agenda this week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, to discuss, I guess, give a final recap. And now I find out it won't be a final recap, but I did want to present to you all the homecoming expense sheet. And I also wanted to talk about some potential issues that I saw that would have occurred, that would have occurred had that impeachment process continued. I won't speak to that as much because that became a moot point with resignation, so I won't address that aspect. I have some initial homecoming expense sheets that I want to pass about. I will
Ronald.
say that
Yeah.
the money that was generated from the concert, which was approximately $63,000, is not showing on here, but I will have that sheet amended. So, but you can keep this first one for your records. Before we get into the expense, I did have some homecoming lessons and suggestions that I want to leave with you all. The first suggestion would be to make sure you all seek sponsors as you move forward to really cut down on the cost. Let someone else pay for your good time. Incorporate a pre-planning survey. I think that was mentioned the last time I came and spoke to you all. Someone asked if a survey was done to get an idea of what students may or may not want. Have your committee chairs set before April 1st. Eliminate promoters or middle negotiators. I found personally that became a very burdensome aspect of the homecoming. Having a middle person, it took on additional expenses that you all probably could really do without. It was extremely costly, and a lot of times it was time consuming. So I know that had been the way that the university had done things before, using a middle person. I spoke with other universities. I spoke with Florida State and Central Florida, and Florida State stopped using a middle person 2 years ago. And they did pass me the information of how to directly get in contact with artists. That probably added an additional $17,000 to the cost of having a middle person. So coming in at kind of last minute to get these things going, and it kind of being crunch time with a lot of artists were locked up. It kind of forced the issue to have to use one again, but that would be the first suggestion that I would definitely make, and I think it was a learning lesson for me. Definitely, I would not, if I had to do anything or be involved again, I definitely would not have a order. Use students and SGA volunteers for your parade, marshaling. Secure your talent no later than July 31st. Probably find out from that assessment or from that survey what type of genre of music that the students would be interested in, and then go after someone like that. The later we wait, the more it will cost. I saw prices go up $15,000 for one artist in a 2-week period because they knew it was close to the time of what's the artist SZA, I believe. At one time it was $40,000. Then all back to President Burma, it was $55,000. So that was just an example of how some of these things work out. I would also say you request bids for your sound, your video lighting, your DJ services, and other vendors. I think we got overcharged when it came to lighting and sound. We kind of used entities that traditionally work on campus and always have these contracts. And I just feel, well, I'll just be honest, I think they've kind of been robbing student government this one time.
Yeah.
I'll turn the motion to extend his time. Well, no, I don't make the motion. Y'all have to say it.
7 minutes.
All right, thank you.
Has it been seconded?
Second.
It's probably moving to second to extend this time by 7 minutes. Is there on readiness at this time? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by a sign of aye. All opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
I think doing bids on your sound and your lighting and your DJ services probably could have saved approximately $25,000. These people, they're in the system and they're traditionally been used, but they jack the prices up around homecoming, and then you really just don't get a fix. I don't know if people are what kind of relationships individuals may have, so I think it'd be best just to that you all do a request for bids and get the best rate to keep as much of your funds as possible. Seriously consider what activities you want to eliminate, enhance, or even create. Don't feel obligated to keep all previous activities. It's your money, it's your decision. So those would be some of the suggestions and some of the lessons that I took from helping out with this homecoming. If you all like to dive into this expense report, I'll be willing to take any questions that you may have on this. I know it's a lot to digest at the spur of the moment. I apologize for not sending it to you earlier so you could have perused it prior to coming to the meeting so you could have had all your questions.
Yes, Senator Hall.
Okay, so hey, Mr. Smith.
Hey, how you doing, Ms. Hall?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Okay, so like not to put long the time, but I have a couple questions.
Okay.
Okay, so at the top where we have Terrion Nelson, I'm not sure who that is. Is that an artist?
Yes.
And Love and Face Choir.
Yeah, that was other artists, I guess, a choir.
We paid for it. So we were like talking about the gospel concert, and then there was like, oh, the thing of us not having it. Then we were like, okay, we were gonna have it, and then there was a discussion about us not paying for it. I don't know if there was like was there a line item in the budget when we did that for the gospel concert? Remember that?
There was a line item for the gospel show, but all of that was supposed to be included in the total when it came to artist procurement. We asked the gospel choir organization here on campus to cover their own riders, their own room, and their own transportation. Just the students, a good many of the students offline verbalized that they weren't really interested in having a gospel show. Nothing really official. The only official aspect was that it was written out on the budget. That would be another lesson to have more student government leadership involved in that, to say yay or nay on decisions as they're coming along. I made some of the decisions as it dealt with some of the contracts, but it would be best if that was all secured and all I had to do was sign off and let students just complete the run.
Follow up.
Well, granted.
Also, Dunbar Walker filming homecoming event. Is that a company? And if so, like, we gave them a lot of money, and I know we have like we have J School. We have a lot of student photographers. Like, I saw a lot of footage on social media of homecoming. So, like, why did we pay whoever this is that much?
Right,
to film.
Now the filming wasn't the only aspect. The major aspect of that is that he controlled like the screens and all that sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
So, but that was one of the main purposes that comes to mind when I said definitely do a request for bid. I personally, I'll just say do a request for bids and maybe try to find someone else. It was almost as if it was a monopoly on certain vendors on campus. I found And I think the students will have the power to kind of bust that up to get better pricing, better service. Because sometimes with the service, I've noticed too that it's subpar, lackluster, but the amounts were the same. I'll use an example with the pits, and I think they've probably been doing this for about 12 years, if not more. Well, they didn't get the Friday show, the gala, and so I think it's an aspect of starting to phase some of these monopoly types out of the business of getting no from person. So again, that's another one that I would have listed in my group or in my mind when I say definitely do requests for bids to secure other vendors.
Final follow.
Final follow-up graded. I see the hands.
So like I know it probably don't seem like a lot, but after you add it up, it kind of is. So I see Mets on here a lot. We got Mets for the comedy show, Mets for 2 Chainz, Mets for 21 Savage, and Mets for the Doorstep show. So like, who was we feeding? Because I didn't eat. So I just want to know, like, cause like, where was the money? I just want to know, like, where was the money going? In that respect, and I'm like, but I'm being serious. Because after you add all that up, that was a lot of money that could have went to something else that we were trying to put on. So,
well, if you come up in the office sometimes, and that's one thing I always say. Goodness, y'all always feed people. I think that's when I said think about some of the things you may want to eliminate. In my mind, that's something. It's like it's tradition. You always have to feed someone. A lot of these things.
Decorum, please. He has the floor.
A lot of these things I see. Okay, this is how it's been done, and individuals wanted to continue. I don't know how many people got fed coordination. I can go and check to see how many pieces were ordered. As far as Mets on campus, if you want to use any kind of catering, they have first refusal. So they have to actually grant you a waiver if you want to try to bring in an outside vendor or your own food in certain locations. So sometimes you have to go with Mets if that's what you want. And then with that, they have their set catering prices. So that's what you get stuck with based on the number of pieces. I agree with you. I think it's a lot of food. Taste of a Rattler, of course, you can see that one because the tickets are given and all the food is free.
Right.
And anyone can walk up to it. But even with that, I think it should be a request for bids so you can get a vendor with the best price.
SGA Director Smith, you are out of time.
Senator Jay Carter.
I will extend this time indefinitely.
Then I'll probably move the secretary to extend time indefinitely. Is he on readiness at this time? Yes, Senator Antonor.
Is this not the question and answer period?
It's still part of his report. Clarity.
Is it? I mean,
it is part of his report.
But he moved the question, so you need to call for a question.
Okay.
All right.
Do anybody else have questions?
Yes, there's like 5 questions I've written down.
you.
All right. Does the maker of the motion rescind their motion? No. The thing is, like, we're on the question and answer period, so you don't like his time is indefinite for that. He's on his report. All righty. I saw Senator Jim Ortiz had his hand up. You're on the floor.
I had a question, but speaking. But what they're not talking conspiracy, more so just recommendation. Like, thankful that you're giving us this information and stuff like that. But I would also suggest you that you go to event meetings since they are the ones that like kind of and homecoming like Senate kind of dealing with, but say they have over like the yeah. So like yeah, I would just recommend you do that too.
Okay, I'll do that, but I felt my biggest responsibility was to the Senate because you all had the pocketbook, and it was your budget but it's the SGA's budget, but you all had to sign off and you all battled for the amount, and you all were expecting good stewardship of the money that you allocated. So I felt that could have. I think the money could have been done a lot better on my end, but I also felt responsibility to you all again since you all approved this, and I want to give what I learned from it, and also I don't know if I'll be in this position or not next year, but I want to offer my suggestions because it's a great chance that the majority of you all will still be involved. So you could hold me if I'm here or whomever else may be in this capacity more accountable and also be more hands-on process. That's why I was saying kind of get some of these things going prior to the summer break so you can already have the people in place. A lot of this had to be done on a whim summer because no one was really here.
In this order, I see everybody's hands. I know you guys, probably getting tired. So Senator Lamar, Senator Strong, Senator Eden, Senator Hansberry, Senator Antinor, Pro Tem Morissette, and Senator Butterfield in that order. So now we're at Senator Lamar.
Good evening. I just want to know, was there a specific reason to know?
Decorum in the gallery.
I think that was those are some of the things that he filmed on that particular day. I think for Dunbar and provided the video and the screens for that. I think she ran out of room when she did the chart. That should have been included with that.
So that's including like stage outside.
Right. Yes, sir. And another thing, you all allocated $291,000 for homecoming, and I guess this would approximately be about 30,000 over. From one of my discretionary funds, I used 27,000, and plus you all have approximately 63,000 coming back from athletics, from the ticket sales for concert. So you'll be technically under budget, but that could have. It's been taking a while in a battle with athletics to get that money transferred to your foundation account. Technically, they have 45 days to pay a vendor. It's been past 45 days. We made sure that we tendered all of our payments within 45 days to anyone we owed. So you all shouldn't be going into the new year owing anyone anything concerning homecoming. But and I'm having a little battle with athletics. They charged the SGA $1 for a printed ticket for the comic show, but that wasn't stated prior to, and I didn't ask to do a ticket for the comic show initially. I knew you all could get in for free, so I had to show you the ID, but it was suggested, print the ticket so you can have an accurate count of how many people come in. I also talked with the AD about not charging us. They initially wanted to charge to put an advertisement on the screen in the football stadium, even though you all paid for the installation of the screen in the football stadium. So I had that defrayed, that cost defrayed. And they had a $2 Ticketmaster fee that I was told was not being charged. But when I got this invoice, they were charging us $1 per ticket. Approximately 4,300 people came into the comedy show, and they charged $2,998 for the tickets that got printed. So I'm battling with that, trying to be an advocate for you all to get that money returned back as well. But the $63,000 from the show, from the concert sales, I expected, I was told 2.5 weeks before Thanksgiving that it would be transferred, and it wasn't. So I'll have to seek other posts now. So out of the 291, like I said, this shows 320 spent, and you have 63 coming back. But out of this 320, 27,000 of that was not from your account or from your budget. So that gives a little bit more perspective of it as far as maintaining or being close to your budget. I would suggest that you keep around the same amount allocated next year. I don't see why. I see where we can cut costs, a lot of costs. So there's no need to raise any amount going forward. 290 for 291 as you all had allocated, I think is a good amount. The only thing, and we talked about this with some of your leadership, is making sure it's put in the right accounts prior to the fall. So when you carry some of that forward, you won't be ready to the last minute to get money released. That's been some of the most difficult aspects of it. Yeah.
Senator Strong, you have a question? You're next in line.
Right. That's the people that help construct the stages, and they put all the sound in, and they had the mics and all the speakers, and they had all the events for the entire week. The thing about that is, last year I think you all paid them approximately $63,000. So you did have a small savings this year of $9,000, but that's one of the entities I think you all, or one of the areas you should definitely do a request for proposal or request for bids, because you may be able to find another group that's a lot less expensive.
Follow-up granted.
Right.
So they basically control the stage.
They control the stage. It's their property. That big truck that they have out there bringing all the equipment in. For over almost 30 years, that company has been in business doing concerts around the country. So they're close. I think they're located between here and Pensacola, their home base. So they control the stage and set up everything and speakers. And when artists come in, all the artists do is plug into their equipment. They have conversations with the artists prior to, and artists request certain types of mics and everything. That's who handles that aspect of it.
Any further questions? All right. Next up, Senator Eden, I saw your hand up.
Okay.
No, you have no questions at this time? Senator Hansberry? I see Senator Miller.
You answered my question of how much you had budgeted for as well as the potential. But I do want to point out, Senator in the back asked about support. I do thank you for coming and giving the support, because we can use this now for the annual budget, which is what we should support subject.
Next up, Senator Antinor, do you have a question?
Good evening, sir. My question to you is, can you please send this directly to?
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Pro Temp? No.
Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir.
I feel like a lot of this was. Hold on, let me backtrack. The whole homecoming committee, or if there was a homecoming committee, what would be your suggestion as far as the composition of that committee? So,
one, I think language needs to be written somewhere on who really dictates or controls or facilitates homecoming. I know tradition has put it on the E-branch, but I haven't seen anything in any language, any document that says this is the entity that will control homecoming. One, you need to establish that so there won't be any confusion about it. Again, get into this game a little earlier in the year and having well-established committees. And that can be individuals who set out a plan and individuals who really are representing what the students want. I think you all have already started on some surveys concerning homecoming, getting follow-up and getting honest assessment. I think that's very helpful. Do that, and once you get that person, let that person lead. And I think that person needs to be good at delegating and bringing people together. It's a huge endeavor. And I think getting support from the entire SGA the whole time. I mean, honestly, I think ticket sales could have been better if there would have been more buy-in. I didn't see more buy-in from the entire student government. And especially now, I think that would have helped with promotion and things of that nature. We kind of did promotion on a 2005, 2010 type style promotion, flyers and radio ads still. That's kind of outdated now, but so I think more buy-in from the entire would also be helpful. If each person felt personal stake to the success of this, I think it would have been a lot more. There's no way that we should not have had 5,000 to 6,000 people in that arena that night.
All right, follow up.
Granted.
Would you suggest branch heads play a bigger role in planning homecoming or no?
I think so. And the branch heads can play a bigger role without taking on the absolute leadership role. I also think that communication needs to come from the branch heads. Coming up in front of you all, a lot of times, Senate was just getting information the day I would have come up, and that was maybe after they've heard 5 or 6 different things by word of mouth. And so I think sometimes if information went out, okay, I got this email, let me send it out to my constituents or to my Senate or to my E branch, or I guess you wouldn't have J branch in there, but I think that would have been helpful. Communication was definitely lacking. A lot of times, I have an open door as well, so a lot of you all stop through there. And sometimes I could be talking about something on an assumption that you all may have already known, and the students would be like, what are you talking about? This is the first time I'm hearing that. Or I'm calling you out, Mrs. Smith, because I don't believe what you're saying because I heard 5 other stories. But so I think communication was lacking. Not just for this, that was just a microcosm, but just overall.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Yeah. All right. Now move on to Senator Miller, Lamar, and Senator Climbs. In that order. Miller?
Yes, sir.
On February 7th, did you, I'm sorry if I missed it, you just addressed homecoming, but you said you were also going to address what you feel is appropriate to form a ticket meeting, and addressing what you improper and or for action concerning last meeting, so-called motion for impeachment. I'm on the former J President. Can you speak on that, or were you?
I can. Just clarity's sake. Some of the decorum, of course, you had the issue where a speaker was asked to be removed. Sometimes when I watch the tapes while the meeting is going on, I see a lot of dismissive type of attitudes and kind of disrespect towards individuals who may be speaking or have something they want to address. Last meeting, when you all were going through your votes on the impeachment, and some people are cheering, waving their arms, like celebratory, I thought that was poor taste. And definitely not representative of leadership. Removing someone from office should be taken seriously. It should be kind of solid. This is sad that we have to even consider this. It's sad that conditions came up that this is even an option. But cheering it on, I guess to put it in layman's terms, it seemed pretty petty and pathetic. So that sort of thing is what I wanted to discuss. Be professional, have some integrity in your processes. You can dislike a person, you can dislike how a person serves, but do it with some taste. You all are leaders. You've probably all been leaders since you were in high school or even before. Carry that on. If it's about the business of the SGA, deal with it in a business-like manner. But laughing and for the whole world to see, being videotaped, is being saved. It's not a good look for Florida A&M. And that's all I'm saying. my mission when I took this job here at FAMU, way before dealing with student government, was to protect FAMU, and that's my thing. Protect FAMU. Right. I got a degree from here as well, and I value that, and I value HBCUs more than anything else, and I value Black folk more than anything. So to carry on in a very dignified manner, in my opinion, on the Senate chamber was not a good look for me. So that's the decorum piece of to it. As far as the potential problems, looking at the document, I didn't think you all exhibited a clear understanding or the differentiation between malfeasance, misfeasance, and non-feasance. Throwing my lawyer hat on, I only saw one of those, non-feasance, and maybe two issues. And then I would ask, did those rise to the point of impeachment? It's a moot point at this time, but if I went through this document and we looked at it, some of the things I understood what was going on, and I'm bringing this up as I've talked with the person who wrote the document. I talked to Mr. Eden, so I'm not feeling as if I'm saying anything that's untoward, but some of the issues, it's like there was no clear delineation between duties and responsibilities. Someone may have the responsibility to do something, but that doesn't mean it's mandatory that they do it. Like, a perfect example, didn't call a special meeting of the entire Student Government Association. And that's noted as an infraction. Why do you call a special call meeting if there's no reason to call a special call? If that's your responsibility, should you need to do that? But that's not an infraction. That just, and people were just cheering it on, One of the things was written out, and it clearly said, was written out on the document about you can have an appointee. Well, there's been no evidence that someone from that branch wasn't serving in an appointed position. Would you have liked for that person to be there more often? Of course. But if the rules state they can have a designee, where's the infraction? I don't get that. But you all have that listed as an infraction. Where is it written that a convocation, a presidential gala, a commencement, a coronation, a peace out, or a town hall is an official university business? Where is that written? So where's the infraction? And then tell me, if it is an official function, did you not have a VP or a chief of staff there at each one? If so, and your documents say you can have a designee, where's the infraction? But you all are going on about the infraction. I saw two issues of non-feasance: traffic court and campus-wide councils and committees and boards with students. That's it. Those are your two issues out of this entire document. If you want to be successful with your impeachment. But did those two things rise to the nature of an impeachment? Obviously it did. 17 people voted for one, 2 abstained. I won't even speak my mind about abstentions. Just from a personal issue, I think abstentions are weak of character, but that's just me. Stand up either way. You're for something or you're against something. That's just my personal feeling. But it's an option, take the option. So, another thing, call the preside open, absent. That might be true. I don't know. Another issue, enact legislation. If it doesn't get a signature in 5 days, it passes anyway. It passes anyway. What's the issue? You have language to deal with if someone doesn't sign it. If they don't sign it, they miss out on having any objection to it. You get your way. You get your bill without even having any input from somebody that's to sign. What's the issue? How is that impeachment? I mean, really, you have language that talks about how to remedy a particular situation. But hey, it's over. Like I said, it's a moot point now. Doesn't matter. But these are some things to consider should you continue your tradition of impeachment. So that's all I have.
Decorum, please. We're going back to the orders of the day. Senator Lamar, do you still have a question?
To this expense sheet, it said that we paid Rashid. I can't pronounce that last name.
Loose Kid.
We paid DJ Loose Kid $4,400 for 3 days of services.
No, he served for 6 days.
It says 10 times to 13.
Oh, so what's that? 4 days. So he did serve 6 days, and he had multiple events on some days.
But it's come to my attention that we're not able to searching outside certain capacities for like different events. Like it's a DJ. They say we have to book it because he's on a contract. Is that true?
He did a contract for that event. I mean, I think y'all did a contract for student activities. Has a contract for said Friday, and I think what's that? Approximately $500, $600 a Friday.
So other than that, we're able to book outside.
That's why I said one of my suggestions would be you all request for bids for sound, video, lighting, DJ services, and any other event.
Okay, well I just said because according to this sheet, that means we'd have paid him $1,500. Because it wasn't like he was setting up speakers or anything. Because you said LS Pitts Enterprise had their own speakers. All he had to do was hook up his laptop. He didn't have to bring any speakers.
And that's something I think a responsible Senate body looks into. And I think you're making some excellent points. And that's something that you all have to decide how you go forward with the services that you all pay. Again, you pay $600 every Friday. Even though it goes through, but that's market rate though. It's about $200 an hour. How long are DJs out there? This business. School of journalism has music business major, right? Might be something to do with DJ. I read something this past weekend. Some DJ made $17 million last year. They go to Dubai and all that stuff. But they $17 million DJ. So that's another career path you may want to look at. Great hours too. And I always at all the happening events.
Next up is Senator Klein, Senator Edenson, Senate Pro Temp.
Back to your expense sheet.
Yes, sir.
For the single biggest expense on the sheet is obviously the concert and the comedy show.
Yes.
I just had a question about that because it says once again back to Insights Marketing. It shows that we paid $212,500 for that for the marketing for that month, but nowhere does it show how much we actually paid 21 Savage and 2 Chainz in the sheet. And then I was wondering if we could just get a breakdown on how much we paid for marketing specifically for the concert and marketing specifically for the comedy show individually, so that for next year we could have something to go off of instead of just overall we paid $212,500.
Okay. Yeah, I apologize. At a previous meeting, I brought in that what each artist received and the promotion fee. The name of the group is Insights Marketing, but they don't. This is a middle person. Is a promoter. So, but yeah, I can give you that information. And that's one of the things I said I would also suggest skipping using a middle person. Let your committee go to the source, with the management. The only thing that was beneficial, and you may want to consider this, the only thing that was beneficial to having this middle person is that our general counsel's office made them a guarantor. So if the artist didn't show, Insights Marketing would have had to pay for that. And so you don't have that when you dealing directly, and you got to hope and pray that the person you get on the phone that first day is actually the artist, real management, not their cousin from down the street after the phone, and who's promising you that the artist will be there, send the money here to this account and has nothing to do with it. And I ran into that. I was actually on the phone once with 21 Savage's manager, and someone called claiming to be 21 Savage's.
Wow.
So, I mean, it gets Ms. Smith can attest to how crazy it could be. And all kinds of people are calling. I'm getting emails. I've gotten 2 emails over the weekend with people still trying to promote shows from spring. Never heard of some of these people.
Bob, granted.
My issue wasn't necessarily the price, because for a month worth of marketing for 2 different events, I believe that might be a reasonable price. I was just wondering if we could just get it.
Yes, sir. I'll get that. I'll send it to Mr. Ford, who will send it back out to the entire body.
Last, we have Senator Eden. You are the last speaker. Last question for Mr. Smith.
Okay, Mr. Smith, just piggybacking on the memorandum that I have to the senators for the issue. So overall, I guess I seen your insight on it, but at the same time, we do have a student Supreme Court that can make the final verdict if those charges were credible or not. So just keep that in mind, which also the SJ resident do have the right to defend himself at the case. So if he wanted to say at the Supreme Court hearing, he had representatives and everything else like that, documentation, everything else like that, then it would have been fine. But overall, I just feel like with us being the legislative branch and us pretty much being the individuals that write the documents and everything else like that, some form of letter should probably be submitted to the Senate President, at least of, hey, I'm not going to attend this, I'm not going to attend that, if the document states this. You get what I'm saying? Or whatever it is in his whatever it is that he wasn't going to do within our document, he should just submit that in the form of writing, not to you, but to the Senate President or the whole branch, the whole SGA, just so we could know what's going on. I guess I'll speak with you offline on what have got back, what somebody have mentioned, or what several people have mentioned to me pertaining to your comments you had for charges of impeachment. I don't know. Yeah, I'll just speak with you on that. Other than that, yeah, just pretty much to maintain the autonomy we have here within SGA. I just feel like with you being the advisor, you should with that card right there. I don't know. In my opinion, and in several other people's opinion, we felt like you were just trying to halt the process. Starting from with the job audit situation, with the email you sent. Yes, you said you were trying to advise, but to some people's perspective, we're trying to halt the process because I don't remember if you recall when Ms. Smith from the job audit email, and from what you said when I sent out the email telling her that, hey, she has a job audit, from her perspective, what she replied back is pretty much seemed like she wasn't going to participate inside of it after what you had said. So overall, if you're an advisor, I guess just pretty much watch your approach on how you're going to come in with telling us stuff. That's all I have to say, because your suggestions or advice or whatever can be very what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, very
Aggressive.
Yeah.
Well, only thing I would mention about all of that is that we've had some good conversations prior to, and my reasoning for suggesting to you, and I've told you this, my reasons for suggesting the job audit is, one, you had the authority to do it. Two, I suggested to you to keep down the appearance of impartiality. Do a job audit, I even recommended that you do a performance improvement plan within that. So now you will have some objectives and some measurable outcomes to gauge his leadership high. I want really, as we would often say, you're creating a paper trail. I sat down with you. We looked at a performance evaluation. I said, take this and tweak it. And that way, no one can challenge what you say if you all have to move to more serious actions. That's what I said. That's what I recommended. To me, that's sound advice. That's not flying off the cuff. That's telling you, give this person something that's measurable. It cannot be argued against them. I even suggested that you write in your
Decorum.
I even suggested that you write in there, we would like to see you at, we have 10 meetings left. I'm just throwing out the number now. Okay. We would like to see you at least 7. If it comes to 7, that's something you can measure. We would like to see you at this function. Not at that function, that's something you can measure. Now, when you get ready to roll into the next semester, you can say, look, it's nothing personal. We gave you what we thought would be good performance. You didn't measure up. This is where we are. No one can say you're being petty. No one can say that you're being vindictive. You gave this person an opportunity to act. You gave them some measurable outcomes. They either failed or they lived up to it. My thing, again, is I'm not your adversary. I'm your advocate. And so what I'm trying to do is show you about the real world. It's all the learning experience. You're creating a trail that protects you, protects this Senate. And whatever somebody says, you gave them something measurable that cannot be disputed. That's all I was trying to do. It's not trying to halt anything. Now, what I was trying to halt was drama, more negative feedback about this Student Government Association. I know we have an interim. At that time, we had an interim president, no head coach, an interim AD. Who wanted to see an impeached Student Government Association president? So if there was something I was trying to halt, was negative press about, again, the brand of this institution that I so much love. So, yeah, I agree. I was trying to halt that, but I wasn't trying to halt your process. I was trying to enhance your process by giving you something that could not be argued against or could not be shot down out of pure pettiness. You went halfway with it. Seemed as if you got a little excited about the idea of getting them removed, and y'all ran with it. So be it. My thing was potential problems with the process. I saw potential process issues because, just plainly put, these infractions were kind of weak. So what I wanted to do was try to tell you to make sure that you're doing it the right way. I don't care what you do as long as you do it the right way and it's not illegal. That's all. It's just that simple for me. I'm not going to be too cutesy, and my tone sometimes may be a little off, maybe a little assertive or abrasive, but I'm not here for friends. I'm here to try to help you all develop your professionalism. And I think if you would have incorporated a performance improvement plan, that would have been the epitome of professionalism. Instead of just flying off the cuff, I even told you, as a person doing a job audit, yes, you could. And I go back to, there's a difference between what you could and should do. Could you do this as a member of the Senate? Of course. Should you, as the chair of the ENA and the person conducting the job audit? Probably not, because it doesn't pass the smell test. If you would let somebody else do it, if you would have made a recommendation instead of standing up making the motion yourself, it would have looked like you were impartial. Again, learning lesson. That's all I'm trying to get to. I like you a lot. I told you before, I think you got a lot of leadership potential. And so if I'm trying to enhance you as a student, this is a classroom for me. You know, I've been out in the real world for about 20-something years. So if I can help you, don't take it and run off. And there's nothing, you say you want to talk offline, there's nothing anybody can say that I said concerning your memo that I haven't told you. What I make a habit to do is tell you first. Now, you can take whatever else somebody else says, so be it. But there's nothing I sat down with you several times before this. So I do that with any of y'all that walk in the office. Got nothing to hide. I mean, these documents, I sat in the same Senate in 1997. Y'all ain't doing nothing new. I mean, this is laughable sometimes, some of the things y'all try to create and try to do. But y'all ain't doing nothing new. I wouldn't say anything about you. But I mean, I've said it here. I thought this was a weak document. I mean, if somebody's gonna say that, that's gonna be it.
Other days have been called.
Okay.
Senator Hall, you have the floor.
Okay. I move to open the floor to the gallery for 5 minutes because there are students here who have questions. I believe it was regarding our homecoming or something like that, and I feel like they had a right to ask questions just like.
Then probably move a second to open the floor to the guy for 5 minutes for them to ask questions for Mr. Smith. Using on readiness at this time to the main motion. Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by sign of aye. All opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. During that moment, please start the clock. Gallery, your time begins now.
Kind of didn't have any questions, but I kind of just wanted to say to the student leaders that are in this room, in order to make sure that you're holding your leaders, other fellow leaders, accountable, make sure that you're all kind of putting in your input in the right time. Don't wait until homecoming is halfway planned to all of a sudden want to start asking for budgets and how are we doing that, doing this, making sure you guys know homecoming is in October. Moving forward, just make sure in August to say, hey, what we're doing with homecoming, how's it coming along? Do you guys need any help? That would have been beautiful to see some aid in planning homecoming from fellow student leaders, just as in a simple posting of a graphic or making sure that students knew how to get tickets for the comedy show or how to do a lot of different things. I see you guys asking Mr. Smith a whole lot of questions, and I even got a whole lot of questions after homecoming regarding how did homecoming come about, how did planning go, and I just feel like that was too late. Nothing could have been changed. Why are you guys asking questions now? So I just kind of wanted to put that on you guys' brains. And moving forward, like Mr. Smith says, I do think that we should start planning as of next semester, January. As a promoter, I do understand that people do get booked. So you would think that we would have about 6 months to book somebody, and you really only at the start of the year only have about 2 months to book somebody and solidify their date, so that you can ensure that they make it to your school for homecoming, and making sure that you have the proper budget to get whoever you would like. So if you want a SZA, if you want a Bryson Tiller, we will have the funds and the timing to do so. Also, moving forward, I feel like as somebody that aided in homecoming and had a leadership role in homecoming, that you make sure that you vet out your leaders. You want to make sure that they're qualified to be able to plan effectively a homecoming that all students are going to have a good time in. Making sure that they're well-rounded, making sure that they understand what the students want, making sure that they're not just serving themselves in planning homecoming, making sure that they really want to be a volunteer and a service to the students. You want to ensure that each and every team member that's on that homecoming team kind of pulls its own weight, and you can kind of hold them accountable. So that's why having that documentation in place is so important, of saying this is your job title, and this is what you need to do to make sure that we have an effective homecoming. And that has to come from our leadership. A student cannot make that because we don't know what we can and can't do. That has to come from you guys as a whole. And I'm sorry to put so much on you guys, but you are leaders, and you guys were either voted into your positions or appointed into your positions. So that's kind of your job. So you got to make sure that if you want great homecomings that are revenue-based and a lot of fun, you have to do your due diligence in the beginning, so starting in January. Now, if you guys have any questions for me, y'all know how to contact me.
Any further questions from the gallery? Going once, going twice. Alrighty. I think that ends that. Seniors, you have a question? Granted. Seeing how we have no further questions from Mr. Smith, thank you so much for your time. As SRC Chairman, you now have the floor. Yes, Senator Jean Baptiste. Yes, granted, Senator Jean Baptiste. Oh, yes, wait till he comes back. If he gave. Yeah, 'cause that was there.
Well, Taylor's first.
No, I know.
Ms. Barbara Pepper.
So good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I might have a pleasant surprise for you. Yes.
Yes.
Looking at the packet, so before she starts, go ahead and move to extend her time period to 15 minutes.
Extend my time period. You're adding 15 minutes to the 2 hours I already have?
Decorum, please, decorum. Is it properly moved in second to extend her time period by 15 minutes?
Okay.
Is there a second? Is it properly moved in second to extend her time period by 15 minutes? Is there any readiness? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by sign of aye. Opposed, say nay.
Well, so how much time?
The ayes have it.
How much do you think you need?
I had about 100 slides.
You want me
Okay,
to-
tell you what, guys. Good evening again. My name is Barbara Thorpe, I'm the Director of Government Relations at Florida A&M. I'm happy to be here because I was spoiled this past year because I had Ron, Jeremiah, and also a couple of other students who joined me in meeting, and the president, meeting with legislators, to talk about our legislative issues. And what I discovered, what you heard Vice President Hudson mention, is that they really want to hear from you. So I wanted to come here today so I could explain the process, because the only way you can affect the process by understanding what's it. I wanted to come here today so I could ask you to help me, help FAMU, help all of us, and the students, getting, for example, funding CAPS, and getting funding for advising, getting funding for online education, getting funding for our Brooksville party, getting funding for technology, all those things. We're competing with other institutions. All of that. So, yes, I came here and I do have not 100 slides, but 21. Not 2 hours, but maybe at least 45 minutes. And I had decided, while I was sitting here, giving me some time, and the fact that many of you have exams, and I want you to do well, because you're out here for years. And that's really, I would say, seriously, also, that is another issue that we're trying to address in terms of our fund, making sure that you have what you need to get on track and stay on track with the whole advising. Getting out for 4 years is a legislative thing. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and I'll probably take just the 15 minutes, if that. I do have to get on a conference call, too, with our basically, just a little bit about me. It started probably in this process, told somebody probably before you were born, not before your parents were born, but before at least you were born. And also, as one of my friends said today, before they were personal computers. So I love the process. I enjoy the process because it's about making a change, doing a difference. So I started as an analyst with the Florida Senate, where there were any black, before there were black senators. I was the staff director. I worked for the president of the Senate for a couple of years. I worked for former Governor Colin Child, education policy advisor. I worked for the president of Broward College, and also the president of the University of Florida, who happened to be chairman. President of Florida happened to be the current chancellor. So I've had a lot of experience in higher education. So my coming to Florida A&M University after I've been retired for a few years is an opportunity to come full circle, helping an institution I really have a great deal of respect for. Identified with FAMU because of some of my friends whose parents were FAMU. I'm from New England, but I saw what the institution did and commit to students. So I started with commitment to helping FAMU back in the early days, and this is an opportunity for me to my. But I really do want you guys to get involved. I'm not going to do the presentation. I was going to tell you about how a bill becomes a law. I was going to tell you about the Constitution. I was going to tell you about the rights, about what happens in each state in the process. And I would like to have an opportunity to do that do that in January. But I don't want to do it in this kind of setting. I really want there to be an opportunity for dialogue. I really want everyone to want to be involved, to understand the process. I really like the consider it. Session starts in January. January, we have big meetings now. Jeremiah, Rihanna, both Ben and Ron, all them need this year. The cap, consider not just for FAMU days. We need you up there for FAMU, but I'd like you to consider coming to the Capitol. And give me draft charter, President, your name, phone number, contact information, your schedules, so when you're available, just for a day meeting with the legislature. It could be a legislator. You're from Orlando. You might from Broward County, meeting with legislators. Broward County, meet with them. I mean, they're your elected officials. They want to hear from you, and he makes a good case about why you need these funds. Yeah, we need a lot of institutions. I really like you to consider coming to Tallahassee, going to the Capitol, and meeting with the legislature. They have opportunities for internships that would be invaluable, your resume, but also invaluable experience. I'd like you to consider that as well. But to do all of that, I really like you to understand the process. So you're not going in there not knowing what's going on. So with that, I'll open it up for the question. But it's a wonderful process. People talk about legislators, we have term limits, they're not doing what they should be doing, but still, it's the best process we have. It's the only process that I know of where you have an issue of concern, you can go to the legislature and at least get that heard by a member and get it voiced. So I'd like you to help me do that for Florida A&M, so we can compete with the University of Florida, Florida State, University of North Florida, USF, FAU, FIU, University of West Florida, all those institutions that are competing for that little part of it. And we're here in Tallahassee, so we have access. We don't have to get on a bus or a plane or drive long distance. We just have to, hop a bus or fall for a ride, get up into the Capitol, and knock on the door. Okay? So with that, any questions?
Yes.
And Rashad, he's definitely going to be there. He told me he's going to be there tomorrow. Oh, by the way, just for your information, we have a Black representative. He is going to be the fourth House minority leader. There's a presiding officer. There's a Speaker of the House. Then there's a House the Speaker pro tem. Then there's a House Majority Leader. There's House Minority. So it's a leadership position. So they're having swearing in. In fact, they're having a reception for him tonight, 6 to 9. But they're having a swearing in celebration. They're swearing in ceremony tomorrow. I think it'd be nice. Some there. Let me know. Yes.
You have the floor.
Ms. Colin Pippin, I feel like one of the problems that lead to poor representation from student government association is late notice. So the schedule, I don't know when the schedule comes out or when you receive the schedule, but oftentimes we get a heads up the day of or the day before, and we're busy students, so prior engagements often take precedence. So if we could get a heads up notice in the future, possibly a week out, then we can plan accordingly, select that specific time slot.
And I'd like to do that. I haven't been able to do it now but we can tell you when the session. I can tell you what the calendar is going to be for legislative when the session convenes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can tell you that now. It's going to be January. I could have told you that a few months ago. But what I can't tell you, and unfortunately I couldn't tell you, for example, until Friday of this past week, is when I would be having those meetings with certain legislators, because the calendar is not published. They have a calendar event, but in terms of what's on the agenda for the committee meetings, or even if the committee's meeting, sometimes they get canceled, or they're not even scheduled. But those decisions are made until the Friday before Monday when they meet. The legislators know they're going to be meeting. They know they're going to be going to Tallahassee, but they don't know when the committees are going to be meeting or if their bill is going to be on the agenda. So if I would hold a meeting with, for example, want to meet with Senator Mumpet, or, we have two great, Senator Mumpet and Representative Ramon Alexander. They're just wonderful. But I wanted to meet with him. And of course, they're very receptive, especially Representative Alexander, very accessible, both of them. Now, I scheduled a meeting for Tuesday at 9 o'clock. He's not going to do that because he said, well, my committee's meeting. Fine, I might be able to leave, but my committee, my bill that I've sponsored might be on the agenda, so I have to hear it. So even now with, for example, we're planning for Family Day at the Capitol, February 8th. I would like to schedule meetings for everybody, to meet with those legislators, but they'll keep telling me, well, we have to wait until like the week before. And then you have to juggle everybody like the week before because maybe the only day one person can meet is the same day the other legislator can meet. So it's probably one of the most difficult things to do. So, but I realize that, and I really apologize, but it's just the nature of the beast. Sometimes they will, if it's a leadership thing, like the president of the Senate decides, or the Speaker of the House says, okay, we're going to do that this week. Sometimes they do, but they're important bills. Then that'll take place, so we can plan that. But sometimes we can't do it, but maybe during a session we try to do it as much as we can, like a week out. But that's what really happens. So can't do it until
All right.
Friday.
Follow up.
I'm sorry, but you're right.
Well, granted.
And another thing, this is a question. So let's say you do have a set amount of individuals who volunteer to go, who are willing to go. Will they be briefed on what will be discussed and things of that nature, just for the audience?
I'm sorry.
Will those who do volunteer to come out, will they be briefed on what will be talked about?
Definitely. Like the issue, we'll tell you not only what the issues are, we'll do it to you just as I've done it before we do it with legislature. So when you go to the legislature, we've been told, I served as a staff person, so I have the benefit of both perspectives, being on the inside and outside. But you tell them, you want to talk to a legislator about an issue, you tell the legislator the bad side too. Because if you don't tell them, they don't tell you. So I'm going to do the same thing with you because I don't want you to be blindsided with any questions. I'm going to tell you, legislator, this about this issue. This is what our position is. This is what they're going to ask you. This is what the question might be, what the reaction might be. So no, we'll tell you. Because I also need to know how you really feel about it. Because, if you have an opposing view, I don't want to stifle that, but I need to know. For example, and then we also need to know about the questions you ask, because there are some issues that are, and that's why it's very important for us. There are some issues, for example, there's a difference between it's a lesson learned. There's a difference between what the state's responsibility is, the legislature, state laws, state appropriation. Okay, local government has a different responsibility. Local county taxes, the Board of Governors has different responsibility. There are some things that they're responsible for, some things that are ours. For example, the legislature doesn't appropriate money for housing. We have to go to other sources for that. So that's not a question you probably ask the legislature. The legislature doesn't do anything with respect to financial aid. So you're not going to ask the legislature a question about health. We can really understand that this is not something that's federal. I really wish the state did it, but so those kinds of things. So yes, that's why, to answer your question, yes, there'll be a briefing, but I wanted to explain why there will be a briefing too.
Senator Eden, Senator Jade Carter, and then myself.
Okay, so Ms. Pippins, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
So I spoke to you earlier in regards to the event that the Elections and Appointments Committee is putting on, with bringing some legislators out to speak on the importance of voting during the 5,000 voter strike. So I'm happy that you're actually very well in this field. So
I think that's a great idea. Bring the point. Because that's where it all starts.
Yeah,
of course.
I'm pretty sure those legislators know the importance of voting because people had to vote for them to get in. So I'm pretty sure they can come out.
And that's where you vote, them again.
Yes, so that's really wonderful. Now another thing, you said we can both voice our opinions. I guess we have to do it a certain way now. based off of what you said. So so because let's see, I haven't really went to the legislative aspect of it, but as far as like for my college, I'm a part of the College of Science and Technology, and we just pretty much have a problem with having resources available to us as far as lab equipment. Certain microscopes we have a lot of damaged microscopes, but we don't have funds to pay and fix for them. I'm currently in like a higher level course, like a 4,000 level course, where I'm supposed to use certain equipment in order to understand the type of experience and whatnot, experiments that we do in class, and they're not working. It's very consistent through that college. I voiced my
So you
opinion.
have budget problem.
Yeah, we're pretty much having a budget problem. So like, would the legislators or whoever?
No, that wouldn't be legislative. See, what happens is, well, I guess what we do is we address the problems, the funding problems for the institution overall, but in terms of how the funds are allocated, the legislature appropriates the dollars to the institution. We get funds for certain areas, and so those dollars are, and I'm sure the internal budgeting process for them, and here's general, but I know all institutions, the dollars are appropriated to legislature. Sometimes they're appropriated allocated to the universities, appropriated by the legislature, allocated to the universities by the board of governors. Sometimes they're directly in our budget for specific kinds of things. Other than that, those decisions are made at the administrative level with the trustees and president. So that's like an institutional decision that starts with, I guess, your dean, your director, and it goes up. So that's it. I mean, I can look into that process,
because I know
that does not. You can tell the legislature we don't have enough funds for this out of all the things for which we don't have funds, and we know that we tell them that we're underfunded. So it's just additional get additional resources, because remember, let me tell you, last year what happened to us. Unfortunately, to help us coming to Tallahassee, we have. I don't know if you heard about this thing about
the what?
They have this. If there are institutions that you don't meet certain metrics, then you don't get the dollars.
Of course.
And sometimes what's really punitive about that is not only they're not giving us dollars, they hold some dollars in abeyance. So we had a metrics like a point system of 65, and we were able to get. And I'm sorry, trying to turn around so you come back.
Senator Young, can you please take IDSC?
So we were able to get like 11. We got $11.5 million or something was our regular appropriation. Last year we had the same number because of the numbers and stuff. We lost 11 points. So when you start losing money, you have to take the money from something. It's an institutional budgeting problem in terms of priorities and stuff. So, I guess just as we have to make our case to the legislature, probably your department head needs to make his case to his VP or his dean about the next level to the provost, to the budget director, to the president, or you.
Yeah, I've been to pretty much all those levels thus far. Yeah. Thank you.
Do you have any further questions, Senator Eden?
But yes, I honestly feel like the whole purpose of this presentation, I think you should actually come back and actually present to us and pretty much know what we should do with going to the legislators and what we should say, how we should think, and everything else like that, because it's really important for senators, SGA officials who are like student liaisons to go over there and voice our concern on the behalf of our students.
I mean, and you come up there too, and you talk to legislators, you could say we need the additional resources for the basic operation of the institution. For example, you can say, we have limited resources in science and technology. You can say that to a legislator, okay, because that demonstrates why we need the additional funds. Okay, so, not to say that's not a legislative issue, but it provides a case for our getting the dollars, okay? Like these are the things that we're doing without our students need the basic tools. I as a student need the basic tools to be effective or to succeed in my major. So, yes, okay. So it is in that case if you take that route, say, look, I'm not even getting this. We need funds for this, okay? And that's general operations, okay? So yes, you can do that. To answer the question.
Senator J. Carter, you got something to say? I see Senator David.
Just to follow up on what Rashard and Senator Pro Tem said, yes, you will be definitely the brief. I just want to follow up on that. It's important. We will make sure that we speak to y'all because really, when you go in there, it's literally the legislator, President Robinson, and Ms. Cohen, and you want to make sure that you say the right things and there's some level of decorum while you're in there. Also, it's a great experience. I've been making visits to the Capitol since April, and it's a tremendous experience, and I recommend you all to.
Senator Jean Baptiste, can you please take JNR?
I recommend that you all do when we start back up in the spring to come with us. I believe tomorrow we're making some final visits tomorrow and Wednesday to the Capitol. If you're interested, squeeze you on in there and let you all know what we're talking about. But once you get in there, it's a great environment. Trust me, you're gonna be working. You're gonna do a lot of walking in that building, but it's a fun experience to meet those legislators and then get to know you on a first name basis, so that when you come back, they call you by your first name and whatnot. So, yeah.
And we don't really stifle what you say. I mean,
yeah.
You could ask, and it's like ask whatever you want to when you want to. We just want to know that this is a state issue, this is a federal issue, so that we ask the question, the question will get an answer to from the right person, not somebody will say, "Hey, you need to call so and so about that." That's basically.
Senator Jackson. Do we have quorum? Granted. Senator Pazier.
Permission to permanently exit.
Granted. Are there any other questions? Ms. Cohen-Pittman, I have a question. FAMU's Day at the Capitol is February 8th, right? All right. Okay. And to my knowledge, I almost said follow. To my knowledge, you have the schedule for tomorrow. Would you mind saying that out loud for us? Or just, are we not going to the Capitol tomorrow?
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
Do you have the time slots?
Here, what I have for tomorrow, to give you the calendar, what I have in terms of a calendar of meetings with legislators. Our goal, and it's like final meeting. This is what they call the interim period before the period before the session starts. Usually the session starts in March, but it's starting in January this year because on even years, if legislators vote to do so, they can vote. They can meet in January. A lot of legislators prefer to meet in January, even though Miami don't like it because it's cold here. But they'll meet in January so they can be through by spring, especially in the election year. So it's meeting in January this year. And so because they're meeting in January, everything's accelerated. So we have to get, and the budget's going to be discussed probably in January. So we're trying to get all of our stuff done. So we're trying to meet with as many legislators as possible before they stop budget negotiations. So tomorrow we have meeting with Representative Stafford, Cynthia Stafford. She's from Miami-Dade County in the afternoon at 1. I have with Senator Bracy tomorrow afternoon at 1:30. Both of these are black legislators. And we have meeting with tomorrow also at 10 o'clock with Representative Gray. We have, that's it for tomorrow. And as I said, we're trying to get with leadership, some of the leadership people and members of the Florida Black Caucus and also members of the caucus, non-caucus members who are on Higher Education Appropriations Committee. Because when they stop voting on the budget, we want to see as many people as we can. So those are our meetings for tomorrow. So there's 3 members, and then on Friday we're meeting with Representative Bobby Du Bois, also with the Black Caucus. Let's see, the other 2 would be Representative Bob Cortez, Representative Richard Mike Rob. So those are our members. So that's just on Tuesday and Wednesday, because usually on Thursday it's the Appropriations Committee meeting. So if you want to sit in an Appropriations Committee meeting, yeah. But I can send this to you, you can forward it.
Okay, that sounds great. Are there any further questions?
Yes.
Thank you.
Senator Knox, you have a question? Give us 1 second, sir. All right, do you have any more information you'd like to give to us at this time?
Just that I would like to come back. I also, along those same lines, promoting, when I was retired, because I served in so many different capacities in the legislature, I wrote a play.
Yes.
And I really would like, for those of you who want to be actors, it's actually an interactive play on how a bill becomes law. So if you want to be a senator, if you want to be a representative, I'd really like to come up with a core group of students. We've got about 28 parts, so if you're interested, maybe sometime in spring semester. And this play would also be an opportunity for you to demonstrate how the process works as actors, and who knows, it could be the next Hamilton. Wishful thinking. But you know, it also could be something by your performance. I've had some kids at Ricketts High School perform the play, but it could be something that could be an educational tool on the process for community groups, for maybe right here on the campus. How many people can say, when a bill passes both houses, what is that word? A lot of people don't know. You probably know. It's when a bill passes both chambers, we have one, but it's enacted because when it passes, it becomes an act. So that could be. It's a learning tool, but it's also a learning tool that's interactive and entertaining. Okay. So if anyone's interested, and I've already mentioned to your Dean of Arts and Sciences, Arts. How much? Oh, this $9.
Send me the link.
I'll give you the copy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you could say I can be like Oprah, and everybody's going home with. I don't have enough copies now. Maybe I'll have the president buy it. He can say everybody's going home.
So what we'll do is we'll probably collect these presentations. Will this be the same presentation that you would use again?
Hold on to those because I really would like to do it. I really would like to
Yes,
explain.
I really feel you.
So a lot of you, can I say one more thing?
By all means.
Most of you go to committee meetings and you're sitting in committee meetings and you're not really certain about what's going on and who's doing what. Their role for staff people, committee staff. Then you go to a legislator's office and there are other staff people. So what I'd like you to know is that when you go in there, have a sense of what's going on. When you go into the chamber, you're sitting up there in the gallery and you're watching people walking around, and sometimes people think that they're being rude because they're talking while somebody else is standing on the floor presenting his bill. But they're actually doing something. They're actually, when they're walking around, they're actually talking to this person. For example, if he has a bill, if Pro Temp has a bill that he wants passed, he's not there on the floor. So he has his little, minion over there going around talking to you and saying how you're going to vote on this bill, or the president needs you to vote majority whip if they're Democrat, or majority whip if they're Republican, because the Republicans are in power. But basically, they're going around, I guess, but basically what they're doing is they're going around talking to you about, hey, please support this bill, you can support this bill, you can vote on this bill. So there's a lot of things. You can watch the dynamics. It makes it really interesting if you know what's going on. And that's why I want you to, want to tell you about the timelines for doing things. Don't want to go to the Capitol and think you're going to effectuate, bring about change, and pass a bill session starts in January 8th. You want to do it. You come around in end of February and say, hey, how can I get this passed? Too late. It hadn't been done in January because we're not hearing bills anymore and in committee, and the bill has to be heard in committee if it's going to be heard on the floor. So it's timelines. It's knowing who does what, and then who do I go see at that point? So if you're going to be effective and help, it's understanding everything that's here. But it stops, and I stop all the time with the Constitution, because that's the one constant, regardless of anything else. And we are fortunate because we have a Constitution that stood the test of time. What we have is not based on the U.S. Constitution, but it's based on our colonies and state rights, because the colonies said we're not going to go back to Parliament. So everything is basically about the people, and starting with us, and ending with us. We don't want those people. They're not doing what we want them to do. We need to let them know. We need to stop letting them come back to their districts and say, thank you for what you did if you didn't get money, or we don't get money for CAPS. We should be saying, why didn't we get money for CAPS? That's what you should have said. But we did get some money. So you say, thank you. That lets them know you're paying attention. So that's why I wanted to do the presentation. So I'll be back. But their questions are the ones that they do go.
Oh, no, you're fine. After they start asking questions,
She's so serious.
All right.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you. You
Thank
have
you so
to
much.
give the Alumni Association
And what's your-
an excuse from me, because I was supposed to be on this call at 8 o'clock.
Oh no!
I know. I missed it last month, and they kept saying I was going to be on. So now I have a credibility problem. I know who to tell me. See.
Don't worry, I'll send the president. He's a wonderful person. He'll write a nice letter on your behalf.
Gotcha.
All right, I'll give you your email address.
All righty.
No, my water.
You know, you can't. You've been thirsty lately.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Good night. Good night.
Acting SRC Chair, do you have any decorum? Do you have any more unlobbied speakers tonight?
No.
Yes, there's a lot of speakers. And we want to appoint Kate, ANS agency report at this time. Are there any ANS agency report?
There are.
Oh, you have a report done?
Oh no, don't worry, it's not.
No, if you report, by all means, please do it. Now you know, can you go to the podium? Senator Miller, can you please take the ENA chair? Senator Travis, can you take ENA? You can go to the bathroom, Senator Miller.
So, my ANS report was on the Electoral Commission. Okay. The file is. She said that she emailed me the file. I don't see it in my email.
Do you check your spam, your junk?
should have printed this out when I seen it. I don't know if I deleted it or.
Okay. Yeah, 2 minutes.
You know, I,
Just,
you know what?
We can just do it next semester.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No
I don't know
problem.
what's going on.
No problem. We'll have one this semester anyway.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
All right. Now moving on to point L, University Liaison Reports. There are none, but seeing how we have a new SJ president, maybe, we can get some university liaisons to come do these reports. Now moving on to point M, second roll call, Senate Secretary.
Senator Green, Senator Bargamento,
Present.
Senator B. Carter, Senator J. Carter,
Here.
Senator Cloud,
Present.
Senator Snipes, Senator Antonin,
Present.
Senator Dumas,
Present.
Senator Finley,
Present.
Senator Hansberry,
Present.
Senator Hemphill,
Here. Present.
Senator Holder, Senator Lamar,
Here.
Senator LaVille,
Present.
Senator Monk, Senator McClinton,
Present.
Senator Seniors, Senator Myers, Senator Strong,
Present.
Senator D. Ford, Senator Butterfield, Senator D. Jackson, Senator Pozier, Senator Young,
Here.
Senator Knox, Senator Miller, Senator Jean Baptiste,
Here.
Senator Williams, Senator Hall, Senator J. Jackson,
Present.
Senator Rios,
Present.
Senator Eden,
Present.
Senator Osborne,
Present.
Senator Pro Tem Morissette,
Present.
Senate President Ford.
Here. Now move on to point N, confirmations. There are none. Move on to point O, unfinished business. There is none. Move on to point P, new business. There is none. Move on to point Q, Senate Secretary reports.
There isn't one.
Awesome. Now move on to point R, open forum. Starting from the back. You have 2 minutes. Senator Butterfield. Senator Miller, nothing else to. Okay. Going to the third row. You have anything to report in the third row? This is the last meeting of the year. Yes, Senator Strong.
Okay, I feel like today was a good meeting. Long. But I feel like everybody did pretty well. It's because, I feel like that's what some people say, not the same. But I feel like everybody did their piece and very respectful.
Anything else from the third row? I'll move on to the second row.
I just want to thank everyone here for really helping the freshman students with our transition and being so nice to us and the support. Y'all are really helpful. Yeah, sure. Have great memories. Well, here.
Anyone else from the second row? LB. Yes, by all means.
And I
It's
think
on the-
this opportunity to go by without saying. So I hope that everybody finish it strong with the semester, man. That's the job. Go above and beyond your normal standards. So, that's the achievement. Make sure y'all beyond that. Say holiday. I want to shout out my committee, SRC. Like I said, now so it's kind of hard. But I want to shout out my committee. Y'all really as y'all said, shout out to the freshmen. I really lead y'all said. I don't know, it's real good in the city, man. I'm proud of all of y'all. Beyond that, man, I'm looking forward to the spring. So I think that we got a lot. My committee, personally, we got a lot coming. But I'm asking that all of y'all come to the spring with the open heart, open mind, man. It's a fresh start. Second half of the 47, man. So let's get it done. I'm ready for it, so I hope that my energy can energize y'all and inspire y'all. So let's do it.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
Okay.
Decorum.
Anyone else on the second row? Final call, second row. Alrighty. First row. Yes, Senator Jay Carter.
I just want to say I love every single one of y'all. It feels good to be back in student government. Just one thing, good luck on your finals and be safe going home. I will indeed pray for every single one of y'all that y'all will be safe. I do want to see all of y'all come back safe and sound. So, like I said, I love you all. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, Feliz Navidad, Happy Kwanzaa, and all that stuff.
The Kwanzaa has not. Kwanzaa is the day after Christmas. Senator Bargamento.
I just want to say I appreciate everyone, bringing me in, showing me the ropes, and basically treating me like family. And to my committee, SRC, I just want to say for everyone, you guys help out clubbing on the strike team, and also it's not part of the committee, but that's executive branch, but we still need your help clubbing. And I just want to say love y'all, and I can't wait until next semester so we can get this work done. That's about it.
Anyone else on the first row? Yes, Senator Eden.
Hey, how's everybody doing? I don't know if anybody's taking chemistry 1025 in here, but if you are hosting two sessions tomorrow, that Chem 1025 Saturday, final on Friday. And yes, everybody, do good on your class. I hope you guys already know some of these are classes. Study ahead of time for your final. Visit professor office hours, please do so now. You get what I'm saying? Get it out the way with now. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And ready to see you guys again in the spring. Just vote for me.
Decorum. Decorum, please. You have 56 seconds left, Senator Eden. Yeah, are you done?
Oh, no.
Oh, you have 50 seconds left.
I'm lying. I'm done. Oh, no, wait, hold up. But for real, shout out to my committee. I love you guys. I could have asked for another committee. Like, I just really love my committee members. Travis, you're wonderful. Sonny, wonderful. Janae, love her. Oh, Chris. Destiny. I like her too. That's my girl. But yeah, I just love my committee. So stay tuned for the online voting bill. It's coming up. The next one is going to be on the floor. If you're not. And after the SJ's president's signature on it, and we should have it coming forward. We're going to work it instead of election.
All right. Bottom D's. We're going to start this way. Yes, Senator Hansberry.
I wasn't going to say anything, but just like some of the past other senators said, you all buckle up, please. Every year we have a death, and it's always because of not buckling up. And something as simple as 5 seconds can literally save your life. Most accidents, when people die, it's because they didn't buckle up. So if there's anything that you do this Christmas holiday, just always buckle up. And with drinking and driving, call an Uber, call a Lyft. Like I said, it's always a wrap. And it's always something that could have been prevented. So I'll leave you all with that. But Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. I do hope to see everybody back here. I do hope everybody maintains their GPA. Students first, and that's what's most important. We're looking forward to working with you all, working OSC more and going forward with budget and special allocation. I'm excited to get into that. So yeah, but enjoy you all. That's all.
Thank you. Senator Antonor?
I just want to say that I'm really excited to get to know each and every one of you all. I'm still establishing personal relationships with some of you all. So don't get creeped out if I'm just very friendly to you one day. I'm just very friendly. Something I wanted to point out, I didn't mention in the, don't look at me like that. Something I didn't point out in the report for OFC was that at least 2 financial custodians or executive board members and 1 faculty advisor of the organization or department should attend the workshop. So when people come out to ask you all, please let them know that 2 financial custodians. So I'm pretty sure that's executive board members and their advisor has to come to the workshop this Thursday. So please let them know. I'm excited. I'm just excited to work with OFC. I'm excited for our chairman who just, hopped. I'm sorry. But yeah, so happy New Year's and happy holidays. Let's just say that. And I can't wait to see you all in the spring. I can't wait to bond more as a Senate, really. And for us to have our backs more. Like we need to, win an evening. All right, thank you.
Senator Finley? Oh, look at that. My littles are on the D's. All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today was a good meeting. I think it was very productive, and we maintained good respectfulness and decorum. I think we act like that because there was a lot of people in here. But even when there's not people here, we should always act like that. But aside from that, I just want to say I hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving, bonding with your family when we're away and they miss us. Being home almost made me feel like I should put in a transfer because I didn't want to leave low-key. But also, shout out to ENA as well. I just want to say that I'm thankful to be here today because FAMU, to be honest, was not my first choice. But now that I can say it was the best choice that I've ever made in my life. And it's very impactful to my future. And I also want to say that, good luck on your finals. It would be nice to see everyone back in the semester. That's going to be a big, semester. That's right here where all the action takes place. But, happy holidays. That's all I have to say.
Senator Dumas?
Shout out to Committee of the Year, SRC.
Decorum, please. They are the award-winning SRC. Let's get that correct.
The leadership But what I would say is make sure you guys join the strike team. It's going to be lit. I do have flyers in my bag if y'all want to take some and pass them out to just anybody. Interest meeting is on Wednesday. And I know Taylor's not here, but she'll want to let y'all know she actually have Bible study this Wednesday in Village West at 6:30 to 8:30. So make sure y'all come out and support her.
Offline. Are you done, sir? Yeah. All right. Senator Young?
Hi, everyone. I just want to say that this was a good semester. This is my first time in the Senate, so I just want to thank everyone for opening their arms to me and just, taking me in. That's it. Have a good holiday.
All right, top Diaz. Senate Secretary?
Just like everybody else said, I want to wish everybody well in their finals. I hope that you guys wish me well. This semester school is very hard. It's been a great semester. I've enjoyed getting to know each of you. I feel like in some capacity I have talked to everyone in this room, so I am grateful for that because I know in the 46 I was kind of trying to get the ropes in the spring semester, so I didn't have that opportunity. I look forward to seeing you all next semester because I do expect that you all will be back. And hopefully these will be the quickest minutes that I've ever sent out because I'm almost finished. So, you may be good.
Senator Osborne, you have anything to say?
Hey, everybody. Like everybody else said, good luck with your finals. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, all that good stuff. Please, like Tyler said, person Antori said, please buckle up. And then for your grades, we always lose somebody coming from fall to spring. Let's be the Senate that lose anybody. Shout out, I have to shout out the Judicial and Rules Committee, Chair Baptiste, Asia Strong, Senator Holder, Senator Carter, Senator McClinton, and Laville. And Pro Tem Morset. We're the first committee in a few years to successfully finish the ratification packet. So shout out to us, the hardest working, award-winning committee. Shout out to y'all. I'm gonna get y'all a plaque or something.
Senator Osborne has the floor.
The last announcement with Senator Bargamento. We are having the Diggs Family Christmas this Thursday, 6 to 8. So make sure y'all come out, bring a toy for the kids.
Okay, so for public works, got it.
And that's all.
Cool. Thank you. Senate Pro Temp, you know the floor. Oh no,
Let me know when to start.
Quorum, please. Senate Pro Temp has the floor. Your time begins now.
All right, I just want to say good luck on your finals, guys, because it will break my heart, calling for the grade an hour check in the spring semester and seeing some familiar names. So that's that. It's a new semester that's going to bring some big changes, so buckle up for that. Budget season, special allocations. This is the nitty and the gritty. Let's create a great, strong budget that fixes a lot of the problems that we're suffering from this semester. So, I'm sure we're going to get that together. And I just want to thank everyone for your patience. Thank everyone for, taking the time to learn what you did learn this semester, because we were one of the most productive senates that I've seen in a while, and we had zero to little dollars in Senate unallocated. So, and that's with all the, nonsense that we went through this semester as well. So, thank you for that. Definitely going with the safety thing. Please buckle up this, as you travel, no matter what it is, even if it's a trip down to Walmart across the street, buckle up, because you never know what can happen. That vigil really opened my eyes to, that tomorrow is really not promised. And last but not least, my freshman senators. I'm really proud of you guys. You guys have, taken the initiative to learn a lot. I don't know if you guys peeped, but me and Rakeem's littles are, making moves, albeit just for, the day. But, yeah, just continue to, have that initiative and that drive into the spring semester, guys, because you don't want to lose it at all right? And since we're all shouting out committees, SEC, I know we don't meet a whole lot, but I just want to say to my chairs and even to my vice chairs, thank you. Senate leadership has been good, and my ANS liaison. I was almost there.
Oh, that's the last meeting. Why not?
And my ANS liaison. I'm an S. Just want to say thank you for all of that. You guys have been amazing, and I really do love you guys from the bottom of my heart, even if I don't show it all the time. I love you guys. Long live the 47th. That's all.
Yes.
Long live the 47th.
All right. Okay. Cool. Alrighty. That's my turn to wrap it up. Basically, like everyone said, good luck on finals. Like, me included, just good luck, everybody, myself, everybody, I was online, had to, miss a couple of days of classes, but, it is what it is, I got the excuse, so look at God, won't he do it? I really want to thank from all my heart, Rashard, especially, because he, was really, kept me, he was like the rock while I was going through line, he kept y'all afloat, because y'all know I was, in and out, how to do things and whatnot, so I really want to thank you, Rashard. I was going to write your letter, but this is more personal. I really, really want to thank you for, just doing, just stepping up and, just being there when I wasn't there. I really do appreciate it. And then he got me a really cool gift, y'all. So, my office is about to be purple and gold. Just amazing. And I also want to thank Bree, too. Bree was also helping me, just being my other rock, when I needed help, when I needed, a shoulder to cry on and whatnot. But, yeah, so I really do Love y'all from the bottom of my heart. Next up, I'll say before we leave, we need to vote for Senator of the Month for November. We all so warmed up my spiel. We could have our legal aid Ronald go around and get pieces of paper from y'all on who y'all think is the Senator of the Month. Oh, y'all do raise hands? Nominations? No, y'all just think whoever y'all think is the best. What? No. What? No. So yeah, so we'll do it again. We'll do that at the end of my report. Next up, I'll say I really want to commend Senator Bargamento, because I know he has class from 6 to like 8. So it's funny, like when he comes in and we're at the tail end of the meeting, but he still comes in. And I think I really like that. I like how you like persevere. Like you have class, but you still come in suit and tie and ready to go. I like that. Keep that up. Also, I do have some kind of unfortunate news. Kind of broke my heart. Senator Williams, the ANS liaison, she will be stepping down going forward into the spring semester. She will not be ANS liaison. She'll just be a normal senator in the gallery. So, yeah, kind of sad. I'll be picking a new ANS liaison by the end of this week. So yeah, that's that. And since we're shouting out our organizations and their events that we're doing, so let's get to it. Tuesday, please come out to Study Hall with the Bros from 5 to 7 in Coleman. Yes, Oh, I have because we're workers. We have lists. Wednesday, we'll be at
Your
staff.
2-minute time period. I'm sure it's up by now.
I don't think so. I don't accept that motion. Y'all, I'm almost done. See y'all on Wednesday.
I move to overturn the decision of the chair.
Oh, I don't recognize your motion. I'm so sorry. I didn't recognize your motion. I'm almost done. Y'all still have to vote on the chair. Committee of the month. But yeah, see y'all on Wednesday at Staff to CAF. Also on Wednesday we have Workout Wednesday. Yeah, we have Workout Wednesday. Workout Wednesday with the bros. Come on, get that. That summer body starts in winter. Also, we also have Bible study on Wednesday, so hop in. We are holy men too. We're wholesome. We're wholesome bros. And then Thursday again, we also have Study Hall with the bros. Study Hall with the bros. Dead. And then y'all do nominations for what's it called? Senator of the Month. All right, Senator Morset.
I nominate Taylor Young for Senator of the Month.
Second.
She held down SRC, y'all.
All right. Any other nominations for Senator of the Month? Yes, Senator Miller.
Second.
No. He doesn't accept.
He doesn't accept the nomination.
All right. Yes, Senator Rios.
I would definitely want to nominate David.
Second. Okay, I like that one.
All right. Yes, Senator Jay Jackson.
I nominate Taylor.
Just did.
Yes, Senator Eden.
I nominate Hassani Myers.
Second.
Just due to the fact that in the event that me and my vice chair isn't available to conduct meetings or for whatever reason, I know that I can honestly depend on Mr. Myers as a regular senator. He doesn't need a title to pretty much showcase his ability to do whatever it is within the Senate. I need confirmations or anything. If I'm not available, if my vice chair is not available, I know he's there. He comes to committee, the question is ready. Look at it. He's like a wonderful senator, and I really thank him.
Senator Lamar, your nomination? Okay. All right, so it's just these three individuals? Senator Myers, Senator Bargamento, and Senator Young. All right. All right.
Yeah, we're doing
we can do it by hands. Secretary can just take a vote of who voted for who.
Can't vote twice, Young.
Wait a minute.
All right. Senator Myers, if you would like Senator Myers to be the November Senator of the Month, please raise your hand. Senator Myers.
Oh, ENA, hold it down.
All right. Next up, Senator Bargamento. Please raise your hand if you want Senator Bargamento to be Senator of the Month.
Right, Quinn, you can't vote twice.
You did it the first time.
But
I'm really torn between the two.
yeah, that's tough.
It's all
Alrighty. Now, Senator Young. Raise your hand for Senator Young.
That's why I got majority +1.
Okay. All right. Congratulations, Senator.
He won. This can't you.
Alrighty. Quorum, please. Now, Senate Secretary, move on to final roll call.
Green, Bargamento.
Oh, present.
B. Carter. J. Carter. Klines. Snipes. Antonor.
Here.
Dumas.
Here.
Finley.
Here.
Consbury.
Here.
Hemphill.
Here.
Holder. Lamar.
Here.
LaVille. Monk. McClinton. Seniors. Myers. Strong.
Here.
D. Ford. Butterfield. D. Jackson. Plaisir. Young.
Here.
Knox. Miller.
Here.
Jean Baptiste.
Here.
Williams. Hall. J. Jackson.
Present.
Rios.
Present.
Eden. Orchmore. Trustee Morissette.
Present.
President Ford.
Present. I address meeting at 8:42 p.m.